Trenton 3D online live class, session number 5, in collaboration with Isles Inc. Project funded by Neighborhood Revitalization Credit and the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs. Today's lesson, I love this command, and I know you're gonna love it too. That's for sure. It's called flow along the surface. And what we're gonna do is basically we're gonna draw in two-dimensional. We're gonna draw on this top level over here. And I kind of did a real quick mock-up over here. And what I did and what is gonna happen, I'm gonna walk us through it and show you how we're gonna build a cool ring. And you know what? Yeah, I know. I keep showing you jewelry. And I know I keep telling you that this is not just jewelry-based design. You could do this for virtually any kind of modeling you want. I just happen to be a jeweler, so I'm going to show you a little jewelry. And the people that are here live today are jewelers as well. And I think you're going to enjoy it anyway. So here we go. Boom. I'm going to now hide. So let's start from let's actually start with a new screen. Here we go. All right, guys. From the front view, I'm going to go over here to my tools, and I'm going to click on the circle command. And as you know, the center of the universe is 0, enter. Okay, and here we go. And we have our circle in the center from the front view. And I'm going to type in 17.5 millimeters, which is approximately finger size 6. We're going to go, and in fact, why don't we do this right now? We're going to go on to the internet, and we're going to type in, we're going to go on to the internet right now, and we're going to type in Google finger size chart. Hit return, and let's take a look at one of these charts over here. And we look at, let's see, millimeters, US finger size 6, 16.5 millimeters is a finger size 6. So here you go. You just type in Google and you'll find there's multiple charts. I guess this is one on Etsy, but you know, if you go in under images, you'll find a bunch of different finger size charts, and they're pretty much accurate here. So that's all you need to do. So let's start that again. We're going to go into our circle command. We're going to hit it. It's asking us. You see over here in the command line, it's Rhino is talking to us always, and it's asking us right now, where is the center of the universe? And for this purpose, we're just going to type in 0 and hit enter, and that will launch the circle command in the 0 point. Now, what we want is we want to have it set to radius, and we're going to type in 16.5 millimeters. And just to confirm that we have it at 16.5 millimeters, we're going to go to linear dimension, left click on that, and make sure your snaps are on over here. So down here, we have our on snaps. So these are the basics. We want to make sure that on snap is turned on. My arrow is down here. We have on snaps turned on. And we want to make sure that we are set for this purpose. We're going to go quad. Now, if I right click on quad, it's only going to select the quad. So it's going to select nothing else. Right now, it's just going to select quad. If I left click on an option, it will add to the selection. So now I can select end, instead of end, why don't I select center? And now it's snapping to the center, as you can see right over here. So we want to snap to the quad. So if you're going to see from the front view, now I'm going to double click to get into the front view. I'm going to snap to the quad with a left click. It's telling me that it's on the next quad with the arrow, and I'm going to left click. And as I drag out, it says 16.5. So there we go. Now, this command right here, the 4 viewpoints command, is really crucial. I'm going to click on that, and that brings us back. And I always love to work in perspective, just because as a modeler, again, in order to pan, I'm hitting shift, right click to pan, right click to rotate. And I love working in the perspective mode because that really makes me feel like I'm in a 3D world. And I love to use shortcuts. I always keep my left hand on the keyboard, my right hand on the mouse. I know you guys hear me say this all the time, but that is like the thing that I preach the most is posture in the computer and hand position. And I like to use shortcuts. And my shortcut for extruding this curve into a surface is going to be Control E. And I can extrude it manually and left click. And you see up here in the command line, I always look at the command line. You know, right now I don't want it as solid. If I hit solid, you're going to have it boxed like that. Yeah, I don't want that. You know, I want it actually as just a reference, as a surface that I want to build on. So I'm going to say solid no. And say I want the surface to be a certain millimeter, right? So let's just say, I don't know, 15 millimeters. Hit return. So now what it did, it extruded since we had it going both sides, 15 millimeters, both directions. It's going to be actually be 30 millimeters, the whole pipe. So if I go into this view and I click on the linear dimensions command, I can confirm that it's 30 millimeters. Now I know I typed in 15. I know that's confusing, right? I typed in 15, but I get 30. That's because, again, if you look at your command line, you're going both directions 15. So we have solid no, both sides yes, and we went 15 millimeters, and it goes both direction 15 millimeters. So, all right, if I only want the whole thing 15 millimeters, obviously what do I have to do? I'm going to select the curve, Control E, and type in 7.5 millimeters. And now if I verify with my linear dimension, oh, by the way, if I haven't mentioned this, there's these different tabs over here. So the first one's standard. So if you can't find linear dimensions, make sure you're in the standard tab. This is the basic commands that we use all the time. And you can just change, as you can see, that's changed, mesh tools, surface tools. And this is pretty nice if you like right now, if I'm mesh modeling, I might want to use this, but I generally don't switch it. I generally stay in standard. Okay, so anyway, linear dimension, snap to the quad, snap to the other quad, I pull it out. Now we're 15 millimeters. Okay, awesome. 15 millimeters is a little too small for me. I kind of want to work with a little bigger surface. That was just for me to explain to you how it works. So I'm going to actually select it. And this is the gumball. And in order to have gumball, you have to have it turned on. So down here, same where the on snaps are, all the way in the bottom of the menu, I can turn on and off gumball. See that? All right. So let's have it on. And one of the easiest ways, if I just want to eyeball it, like I don't have a real measurement here, I just kind of want to extend it out past 20 millimeters. So I'm going to just left click on the screen square from the top view and pull it out. And I'm extending the surface nice and easy, gives me a good working area. All right, guys, here's the command. Pay attention now. We're going to go under, this is project to the curves. As you can see, it has a little arrow on the bottom. That means there's more commands. So when you left click on it, pulls up a drop menu. And if I left click on the top of it, I can move this palette around and have this command, you know, here, dock it here, whatever. This command right here, I'm highlighting it. It's UV command, okay? And if I left click on it, I'm going to create UVs. Perfect. So let's left click on it, select the surface with a left click. Now it's asking me select curves on the surface, create UV, right click to end the command. And this little box right here is when gumball's turned on. If I click on that, I can now move this object anywhere I want. I'm going to work on the top view, just shift it over here just so I can see it. So this is basically now the surface of this sphere opened up and laid flat. That's basically what it is. And now one of the things I like to do, I'm going to switch to the top view by double clicking, and I'm in the top view now. And I'm going to shift to a shaded view just to give a little bit of a better perspective here and look that this is the sphere and this is now the top view of that opened up sphere. I'm going to now click on, remember on snaps? Well, in this case, I like to use the middle on snap. I can turn off the center on snap. These are left clicks, by the way. I'm left clicking to turn on and off. Right click just deletes everything and just chooses the one that you right click on. So I'm going to right click on mid just to make sure I stay on mid. And I'm going to now come up to the polyline on the top left here on the menu commands. Left click on that, snap to the mid, drag it over, snap to the mid, right click to end the command. Right click is now restart the command. So let's restart the command. Same command, snap to the mid, snap to the mid. And I just made myself a little reference of where the middle is. Now I'm going to switch layers. I'm going to work on this layer for designing. So now basically this end and this end is the bottom of the ring. So if I'm going to make the shank and I want it to connect, I got to make sure that I'm starting from the same point. So that's why I have this middle line here as a reference. So I'm going to now choose our favorite command, which is interpolate points curve command, and left click on that, snap to the mid, and I'm going to make this little design here. Now, I know you don't know what I'm doing yet, but just believe me, I'm doing something. Now I'm going to right click on to restart the command, snap again to the mid because that's where it's going to connect. And I'm going to now draw on this side a different pattern, a little different, just a little different. Now, I didn't really like what happened there. There's a kink. It's not really beautiful curve. I could always just delete it and do it again, or I can left click on it to select it. So now you see it's yellow, so it's selected. I go over here, and this is turn the points on and off by left clicking. So I'm going to left click to turn on, and there's that control point that seems to be a little lower and making it have a funky kink. Left click on that. Again, this is the best. You can click on the arrow, the point, and move it, but with Gumball, you can click on the square and move it. And now I can see where I'm going with this and see the curve without my cursor being on top of it and get it nice and beautiful and sexy the way I like it. Let it go. Let go of the left click. Now I hit the escape button twice to turn off the points. You could also just left click on the command again, but for me, I like using my shortcut. That's why your left hand is on the keyboard. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this like an alphabet ring with the diamond. I hope that sounds cool. So here we're going to go under the text object tool, left click on it, and you have a bunch of fonts here. You know, my Forte, that was a fun one. But if you click on the fonts, you can kind of just arrow, you can select different fonts. Hold on, what am I doing wrong here? Yeah. So if you choose this drop down menu and you choose one and you just start using your arrow key, you can kind of filter through them and pick out a cool design. So, you know, depending on your computer, like here's Gaudi Stout. Yeah, let's try that for a second. So now over here we have options. I can make it a solid right away, but that's not what I want. I actually just want the curves, and you'll see why. And I'll hit OK. And here we have the curve of that A design. And I'm just going to place it approximately here. Left click and drag to select. And we're going to rotate by hitting transform, which is up here on the menu. Left click, rotate. And I'm going to click approximately, you know, right around here to create the pivot point. I drag out, I left click again, and now I'm rotating the object to give it a little designer look to it. All right. Next, I'm going to now just make a reference for where the diamond is. I'm going to click the circle command, and I'm going to left click and drag. And I'm going to have to move this diamond to probably about here. So looking from the top view, we have the diamond, which will be here. This is the shank, the A font, and the shank. Honestly, I don't like this font. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to pick something a little better. That was a horrible font. All right, so let's pick something a little better. I'm going to stick with that Forte font. That was a little bit better. That was not a cool font. That was an ugly font. So let's just hit that. Yeah, I think somebody's gonna like this better. Left click, let me rotate again, transform, rotate, find the pivot point with a left click, drag out, left click, rotate. Much better. All right, that's why I got paid the big bucks. Anyway, so I'm going to delete the references by selecting them, and I have a shortcut Control X for delete, or you can hit the delete button. Now we're going to come back to that UV command. You have your palette open. It's hovering over here because you're going to use it again. We're going to select everything with a left click drag, right to left, and select. And I'm going to hit the control button and left click to deselect the outer box because we don't need that. And we're going to come over to the UV command. To create the UV was left click. To apply it is right click. So right click. I'm going to switch now to perspective view. Here we go. And I'm going to just now left click on the surface, and there you go. It's applied to the surface. How cool is that? Now it's again, it's showing that it's applied slightly off. The center is not on top, so that's no big deal. So I'm just gonna basically, I don't need this measurement anymore. I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna select everything over here, go to the front view, and we know that this object is over here on the side. So I'm going to transform, rotate from the center, which is 0. I'm holding Shift Alt at the same time, so I'm locked into that plane. Left clicking, dragging it up to the north position and making sure I'm directly in the north position. I'm holding Shift down, left click and let go. And now it's there. It's on the top of the 3D world. There we go. Now this curve is hanging off. It's like really on the edge, and I don't feel comfortable with that. That's how errors occur. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this surface and I'm going to actually open it up a little bit wider for myself so you can see it completely on the plane. All right, guys. So flow along surface. We're going to now select the. We're going to go into the transform command. Flow along surface, is saying objects to flow along the surface. So we're going to select these objects right over here, right click when we're done. We're going to use this plane option over here, and we're going to snap to the end and to the other end. And this is basically highlighting the area of what we want to flow along. Now it's asking for the target surface, which I'm going to shade the perspective, and I'm going to click on it. And now it has drawn the objects onto the surface. I had wanted to use the ridge command because what it would have done is made it undistorted. As you can see, it's a little bit distorted. But anyway, at least it worked. I was running into troubles. Transform, rotate from the center, move it to the top. All right, and now what we're gonna do. So one of the things I want to do is I'm going to delete this curve that references the finger size by just actually hiding it. And I'm going to hide this measurement. And what I like to do is I'm going to now select this surface and I'm going to split it with the curve that I made. And now I have this surface here. And the way I can show it to you is if I delete everything else, I've cut out just that surface here. And what's really cool is I can now go under the surface command, offset that surface, and I'm going to make it solid. Here, the option up on the top, solid, left click on that. And I'm going to make the distance, let's say 1.2 millimeters. Hit enter, and there you go. You got a 1.2 millimeter piece of metal hanging there. Okay. And I'm going to switch this perspective again. And I'm going to now bring back that curve. And there's that curve. And I'm going to extrude it again. 10 millimeters is what I did this time. And we're going to now do the same thing on this curve. Now the other curves came back that I was deleting from the previous mistake flow. Let me just delete those. All right, there we go. Select the surface, split command, choose the curve, that cutting object, right click, and now I'm going to delete this, and we have the surface again. I'm going to surface, offset the surface, make it solid, right click, done. Now we have that curve that we flowed along, the one that we drew that matches in the bottom. It's a little kinky at the bottom, no big deal. So one thing I could do, and let me just delete these other guys here. All right, and delete that. There we go. So one thing I could do is I could just use the pipe command. So I go solid, pipe, and I'm going to type in 1.5 millimeters. That's too thick. So again, that's the problem with that. The reason why it's thick is you have to make sure that when you use the pipe command, which is up here under solid pipe, that we're going to go switch to radius. And now when we type in 1.5, it comes in 1.5. And that looks better. That's more or less what I want. And now I'm going to choose the other pipe, right click, and I have now connected it, and I have a ring. It's a little kinky. Let's see, how can we fix that? So one of the best ways to fix it, undo, select the curves, and let's hit the points over here. And we're going to now just shift it a little bit and get rid of that kink. Highlight it, eyeball it, shift it a little bit, and I think that's better. Yeah, much better. So now when I pipe it solid, and I actually am going to go a little bit bigger than 1.5. Let's go 1.8. And the same with this by right clicking. And now I have a basic ring. And now we can put some diamonds over here. All right, so that will be the next lesson. Let's pause the video and take question and answer time.
I have a question.
Yes, go.
When in the very beginning, when you made the circle and you wanted it to be 16.5 millimeters,
Yes.
you put in radius 16.5. I don't understand why it wouldn't be 8.25, because wouldn't the diameter be 16.5?
I always ask the same question.
Yes.
But it is what it is.
Okay, so just learn it that way.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's why I get confused, because to me, the logic would be if I'm saying diameter 16.5, that means from one end to the other. But
Yes.
but then it becomes like 30. And I'm like, why? Why is it 30? That doesn't make sense to me. You know.
No, but it worked when you made the cylinder. The logic made sense because you even pointed it out. And I was like, huh, so there is something odd going on here.
Yeah, that's just a Rhino thing, I guess. Yeah. And I'm really sorry that I got, the UV, project UV and the flow along the surface, very similar commands. And I guess I got a little messed up there, but basically the gist of it is the same, and it works pretty well to design flat and then wrap around the object. And then you saw how I was cutting the surface and then offsetting it to create the solids.
Yes.
So that's really cool thing to do. And then what's really neat, like if I wanted to, I can now. All right, so let's take a look at this real quick. All right, so you see how it's cutting in over here a little bit into the finger size. Let's just choose this two from the side view, and then I'm going to go transform scale 2-dimensionally from the center, snap out, and I'm just going to bring it out a little bit. And now that's a little bit better. And then what I like to do is probably like trim this over here first. So let me show it to you this way. I'm going to bring this, this, and this. So I just selected 3 solid parts, the circle and the 2 parts that make the shank. I'm going under File and I'm exporting the selected. And I'm going to say shank with this C. And I'm going to choose it as an OBJ. I'm going to left click on that. And I'm in the desktop, save it. Use the standard settings, is fine. Hit OK. Mesh is fine, hit OK. Then I'm going to choose the A. And to use the same export command, I can right click to execute the same command. Or if you feel like, you can go into File, Export Selected. And we want to OBJ again. And this time we're going to say A. Then I'm going to launch Zbrush. Where's my Zbrush? There we go. Okay. All right, guys. So Zbrush is launched. We're going to hit comma to back out of here. And we're going to basically left click on the star to get the commands. As you notice, the commands appeared after I left clicked on the star. We don't want to use this import button up on the top. We want to use the one on the bottom. So we're going to left click on that, click on merge. Do not click on add. Slide the sliders over, hit on import. And we're going to go to the desktop, choose this Shank C, click open, hit OK, left click and drag, and then hit TNF. And now when I right click, I can rotate around the ring. To bring in the A, we're going to go under the subtool and we're going to left click on that. Move down to append, left click on append, choose the star again. Now we're going to go back down to the import. Well, let's just make sure we're in that layer by double clicking. Now you know you're in that layer by the name being highlighted. Scroll down, go into import. Same thing, merge, slide, slide, and we're going to choose the A and hit open. Click OK, and there we go. Next, in order to modify it, we're going to go under geometry and we're going to hit this button called Dynamesh. This is one of my favorite buttons. Move your resolution up to approximately around 400 and then click on the Dynamesh button. It did it really fast, but it was basically, there's a little slider that moves across that tells you that it's done. Now you can just draw on it and do whatever you want. But before we do the A, let's go into the subtool by left clicking. Left click onto that other layer, move back down to geometry, and let's run the same Dynamesh command at 400 resolution again, approximately 400. All right. Okay. So you know it's working because it's highlighted in the darker color. You can change colors by clicking on the materials. One of the ones I like to use is one of these white ones, like, let's see, that's a little too bright. Let's try, there's a bunch of new materials here. Oh, this one's nice. No, it's too bright. Basic material, here we go. Basic material is nice. So Alt to pan. And zooming is you let go of the Alt and you're holding the right click down and you're moving in and out. So I'm going to hit the Shift button to smooth this part out over here. Since I want it to disappear, I don't need that over there. So left click, holding the Shift button to smooth. If it's too intense, you can drop the intensity up here by left clicking and driving the slider down, and it'll make it a less intense smooth. And that way you can keep, modeling it to the way you want. All right, especially when you go to the edges here. If I left click and I hit it, it's a little too intense. So let's bring that down a little further. And now when I hit Shift, it's okay, there you go. So it's just taking off a little bit of that bite from the CAD and softening the edge. And anyway, that's important for when you casting, you don't want to have super sharp edges because the metal won't flow into that and you'll get investment stuck in there, and that's problematic. You don't want that. So let's get rid of this. And now see the intensity is too low when I'm trying to smooth it. I'm going to increase it now to the max and bring that down. All right, so it's not even doing enough for that. So here I go by pressing the B button. I'm bringing up my brushes, and I'm going to basically minimize down the names. I want to use the move brush. So if I hit M, it's only the M commands that show up. I'm going to left click on move, and now my brush size is a little too big. So one of the ways I use is the hyphen command, and I bring that by clicking on it. As opposed to doing that, you can hit the space bar and just kind of drag the draw size. When you hit the space bar, it brings up the shortcut menu and a slider, and you can drag it. So I'm going to start bringing it down just by moving it. Let's increase that size a little bit and just start bringing it down. Bring it down, bring it down. And now I can smooth it by hitting the shift button. Let's bring up that intensity again and smooth it out. And then I'm basically sculpting like it's wax. Now you don't have to be too crazy about it because you're going to get work in the metal as well, or you can get crazy about it and do it as intensely as you like.
Don't get crazy.
Get crazy with it.
Go,
So now
only medium crazy, please.
I'm going to increase the
Medium
size.
rare.
I should have muted you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to move the end of this by just using that move command and just shifting it under. And as long as I hide it under, as long as I hide it in there, you know, it's good enough. That part gets a little ugly, so I'm just going to bring it over and then bring it down. And then the smooth command is your friend. So let's smooth that out a little bit to hide it. And just smoothing it out. And now if I want to work on the A,
You're using a mouse, huh? You're not using a tablet and a pen.
No, I'm using the mouse.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm using the mouse. Let's just smooth that out. Yeah, I use a tablet sometimes, but to be honest with you, I find it more enjoyable using the mouse. I don't know why. So the A, I just want to kind of smooth out those edges a little bit. See it, smooth it out. Oh, we're back to too high intensity. So when I hit the shift key, remember there's a difference between draw intensity and smooth intensity. So when the shift button is not down and I adjust the intensity, it's adjusting the draw intensity. So if I go into standard, let's say clay buildup, right now it's super intense. If I drop the intensity for the draw, it's much less. But in order to change the smooth intensity, I have to hold the shift key down. See the intensity is at 95, and now I can adjust the smooth intensity, but make sure the shift button is down. So let's hold it down, bring it down the intensity, and we're going to smooth out those edges a little bit. Might be still a little too harsh, but that's okay. We're just going to do it real fast. Boom, boom, boom. Bring it back to here. Left click on this side. Do the same thing. And now, I don't know, let's do some kind of pattern. I kind of like that clay buildup, the clay buildup brush, and I'm just going to do some kind of like bumps here. I don't know, just something like this. And I'm just kind of making like some kind of surface that's designer, interesting and different, just by drawing on it a little bit. And as
Cobblestones.
Whatever it is.
No, it's like jazz. It's like jazz, like confetti, like
confetti,
80s jazz confetti.
Parade. We're gonna have
what's those little stones that you put together and make a mosaic? A mosaic. Yeah. A mosaic. So here you go. So boom, I gave it herpes, and and so there we are.
Okay.
If I want to put diamonds, all right, yeah, we could still do the diamonds, but you know what? Let me actually get rid of this circle here. And there's a reason for it. I'm going to want to pave the other material. So in order to do that, let's just delete this. So I'm going to go Control Shift Alt, left click on that box that's up here in the top left and switch to select lasso. And now when I hit Control Shift Alt and I Control Shift Alt, wait, what happened here? Shift Alt, yeah, okay. And I hit, okay, yeah. Control Shift Alt, and then with the left click down, I can delete it. That was a little too much. Let me do it again. Control Shift Alt, keep it near there, right there. That's where I want it. Yeah, okay. And it's an open hole over there. So we want to close the hole. Thomas, how do we close the hole in ZBrush? How do we delete hidden actually? I think it was under geometry, right?
Oh, geez.
Geometry.
I haven't done this in a while.
Dynamesh.
It's got to be in geometry, no?
It's in geometry. Crease.
In masking? Is it in masking?
No, it's not masking. You know what? This is where I always say, when you don't know what to do,
Google it.
Google it. Let's just Google it.
Google knows everything about everything.
All right, so I know you can't see it. I'm just going to type in
It's
real
like
fast.
God.
Not quite.
Delete hidden ZBrush. All right, and what it was again? All right.
I remember asking Gene the same question.
Gene, he's really good. To delete hidden geometry in ZBrush. Oh God.
They don't want to tell you. There used to be this thing called Ask ZBrush, but I don't know where they went. They took off. They never came back.
Oh man, what am I doing? Modify topology, delete hidden. Okay, so I think that's what it is. Am I back? Yes. Modify typology, delete hidden. Boom. All right, good. And then if I run Dynamesh again, the hole is closed. You see that?
Yeah.
All right, success. So now we're going to export.
Dynamesh filled the hole?
Yes, when you Dynamesh, it closes the hole. So if I export and save, I like to always type in out of Z, meaning out of ZBrush. Hit save. Go to the other subtool, which was the A subtool. And we're going to export that now. Same thing, out of Z, hit return. Okay, now I'm going to minimize. So that means I have to switch the shared screen. New share, Rhino, share. We back to Rhino, guys?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to now select these objects and hide them. And leaving that surface that I was telling you about. And I'm going to file, import, A out of Z, hit open, hit OK. Boom, there it is. And file, import, shank C out of Z, hit open, hit OK. Boom. And in a way to see it, I'm going to go into render mode. And now you see it, right?
Yeah.
How cool is that? We're going from one software package to the next. Now, I'm telling you, Thomas, tell her, how hard was this to do back in the day?
You know what? I miss ZBrush. Tomorrow maybe I'll get in on it tomorrow.
You
What is
see,
Friday? Yeah, Friday's a good day to get play on.
I am at least inspiring you to use ZBrush more.
No, you are, because there's some paths. Well, that import. I don't import like that. That's not what Gene. That's you have some tricks that Gene doesn't use.
Well, we all a little different, you know. All right, so I'm gonna bring in now diamonds. So hold on one second. File, import, because I have it in a different file. I need diamond. Is this the one? There we go. All right, so let's delete that. And there you go. There's your diamond. See the diamond?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're just going to play around, and this is kind of fun. I'm going to send you this file so you can kind of move around in your 3D world. And this just kind of helps you to learn how to use the program a little bit. So I'm gonna start using these arrows here, and I'm gonna move it up, move to the left, and switch view. So you see from the front view, the diamond is got to be rotated. So you're gonna go under your transform, make sure it's selected, rotate. Don't snap. So turn off your. You can hit Alt to turn off your. When you hold the Alt button, your snaps are turning on and off without having to click on the on and off. So if I hold Alt, left click and drag, I can now rotate it. And I'm just going to put it approximately like it's coming out of the ring like that. Left click and drag it down. Let's see where we are now. All right, cool. So we're getting a diamond that's now on the surface here. And you can move it from the right view. And let's choose it and move it from the right view. And if I want to make a copy of it, transform copy, and just make a duplicate of it. There you go. You got 2 diamonds now. You want more diamonds? Transform copy.
I do.
Because
You know,
right now it looks like an emoji.
The more the merrier. That didn't work. Hold on. Let me get out of there. I think this is going to be a better one. Transform, copy, Alt, click, and I think it's hiding behind it is what it is. So you see, it's on the bottom now. So I have to move it up. So from the front view, you can see where to move it up. You see how you have to shift from one view to the next to see it. So here in the front view, I know I got to move it up. So I'm moving it up. You can see it's coming out a little too much. You see that?
Yes.
So transform, rotate, and now I'm rotating it so that it's a little bit better on the surface. Touching, let's move it a little further away. There we go. All right, I think that's an extra stone that I made before. Let me just delete that guy. Yep, there we go. So there we go, 3 stones. Should we put another one?
Yes.
Sure, go for it.
All right, so
Can y'all hear the fire alarm going off in my house?
yes.
Okay. It's
Transform,
my husband's trying to cook dinner.
copy. Oh yeah, is that how it works?
Is that when it goes off?
He's making it hot. All right, so let me put it here. And again, you can see from the front view, we got to rotate it. Transform, rotate, boom. And now we have kind of a cool design that we just made using flow along the surface and projecting
Cool.
commands. And using Zbrush. So any questions?
No. Should we just try to do that for homework?
Yes.
Zbrush tomorrow.
Yes. And obviously
Right.
I have to make like cutters and azures for this. The diamond sizes are not exactly correct. I'll send you the diamond that you can use. You can scale it if you like. By just clicking on this and holding
Yeah.
command, you can scale it.
Oh yeah.
I got a question. You were trying to do rigid when you float along the surface.
I want to see what I did wrong. Rigid
Well,
is usually,
no, but let me finish for a second. So you use rigid, and so the A wouldn't get distorted at all, correct?
well, the one that you see that's distorted the most is the circle. Is kind of like oval shape now.
Right,
You know-
but
you
if
know.
you use rigid, it won't distort anything.
It won't distort it. It would have stayed
Circle.
circle. Yeah, just like it was
Okay.
drawn over here. I don't know why it wasn't working for me. I'm gonna troubleshoot what I did wrong. It was obviously something I did wrong. Fire the teacher. He's the worst ever.
Okay, well, who do we email?
You gotta email Twitter, Instagram. You gotta email all of those guys.
Little public shaming.
Aw, come on! I had good music starting.
It sounded like y'all were having a party when I got on tonight.
That's it. We were partying.
Yeah.
So, Thomas, you want to share your screen a little bit now and show some of the commands that you like to use?
Well, actually, that is one of my favorite commands, flow along surface. I made a lot of.
Don't back out now. Show us your way of doing it. Go ahead. Let's share screen. Let me
Okay.
see. All right. So I'm going to let's see. Stop sharing. And
Yeah, I do it
then-
a little different, just a little different.
Go ahead. Let's see you share. Come on.
Whoops, there it is.
Hot potato tossed to you.
All right.
All right. I see it.
I
Boy,
see it.
I don't like not having hotkeys. Let's see. Is that round?
So what'd you hit there? You hit the Alt and drag.
Yeah, just to make a cylinder. Yeah.
Do it again and show and tell her what you just did.
Yeah.
Okay, back up.
Undo it.
Undo, huh? Got to use this. I don't have any. I
Do
like
it in the-
working. I like working in the perspective also.
Hey, why don't you show your hotkeys first? Go to your perspective. Go to your.
Well, I don't have hotkeys, but I got.
No,
this
no,
is-
that's what I meant. Talk about some of the ones that you use here.
Well, I use them all. I mean, that is one that I use this a lot. I like using this one because it's a soft rectangle. I like that. I use that for stock, for like a ring shank or something like that. There it is right there. I use that a lot.
Yep. The UV one's good.
I use this to scale. I do that. What else? Extend a line. Extend a line.
Mhm.
This one's good for quick lines if you want to angles
Just straight
or
straight
continued
lines.
continued lines.
Yeah. I use that one too.
That's a good one.
All right, so
So,
go ahead. So left click and drag, right?
So yeah, shift control and I whoops. Shifting and control and I just drag it to make the cylinder. Then I like to work from the top on this. And then I hit this. Boom, boom. And then I got that. Then I like to move it over a little bit and kind of line it up. And then I do that also. I do this so I find the mid. I like the mid. I like that center line.
Yeah, you need that.
And then I like to change colors. I like different colors. Few different colors. Let's see. Then I'm all choked up. Hey, look, I think you were using turquoise earlier too. So what do I do?
Copycat.
Huh?
I'm just kidding.
This just happened. So man, I'm all choked up about this.
That's the little alcohol helps, a little J&B.
No, no, it will not. Oh my gosh, sorry. I'm having a coffee.
You're right, it just made me cough.
Coffee on the YouTube.
This is the Trend 3D Comedy Hour.
So what else should I do? That on there. But here's another thing I do that you didn't do. I will fill this plane in, okay, like that. Then I type in flow along surface. You can type in the first few letters to get the command in sometimes. So then let's say select objects that flow along surface. Boom. Boom.
I definitely boom.
And then press enter.
Like the boom boom.
Base surface, okay? So I use the base surface, hit that. Then it says target surface.
Oh,
Boom, and there it is.
That's what I did wrong.
So I actually make a surface. I make a plane.
I think you're right.
I actually make a surface in there. Do you want me to back it up and do it again?
Start the whole class over. All right, guys.
No, not the
Welcome
class.
to Trend 3D.
Not the class.
But wait, if I leave my husband cooking anymore, he's going to burn the house down.
I'm just
Burning
kidding.
down the house. No, the
I'm
meal,
just
he'll burn down the house, but you'll have a meal.
The lesson is that I
No,
don't know
that's-
everything.
So
I
that-
still can
that-
learn from people.
But no, but I like what you did with this, you split, I mean, I don't think about splitting the surface. But let's try rigid. Let's do something here.
Ridge is gonna work now. You got that
Let's
base
see, let's see if
surface.
rigid's gonna work. So Mayfield, I actually type in flow
Yes.
until, and then it comes up,
And
and
it
then I find it,
appears.
and there it is. And then we have boom, boom, left click. Okay, let's try rigid. And then skip plane. Don't even hit plane. And wait, I gotta get a surface. Wait, I gotta make a surface first. Sorry. Gotta back up.
You went too far back. You went too far
Okay.
back.
Okay, there's the color. There it is. Okay, flow, long surface, enter, select object, boom,
Mhm.
boom, right click, and then we got rigid. That I'm not going to touch that. And then base surface. That's it. Select, boom, there. Target surface, boom, there it is. Let's see if we got a circle.
No, you did it like I did it. Look at it.
Yeah, but the circle's good. But the circle's good.
He's got
Yeah.
a good circle, Marcus.
No, it's not. It's not. No,
Oh,
it's,
no, it's not
no,
on
it's
it,
not. It's
though.
not. It's
Oh,
not.
it's
It's not.
total.
like-
So
It's not-
rigid is not what you want. Don't use Mayfield. Never use rigid.
Don't listen to me ever
Forget
again.
rigid.
Don't listen to us. Don't listen to us. We've been doing
We
this for
don't know
long enough.
what we're talking about.
Just delete.
I'm just
delete
skip.
this.
I'm just doing
just
last
delete
week's homework
whatever we
again this
said.
week.
No. You must play with this. Did you get your windows, by the way?
No. Okay.
Windows
I,
10 are real windows for the house.
No,
I
Windows 7.
consulted with some other computer nerd friends of mine, and they thought that the idea of putting Windows on my 10-year-old Mac, they didn't like that idea. So then they were like, why don't you just buy a cheap computer and just put Rhino on that? So then I went down a whole rabbit hole of trying to find a cheap computer to run Rhino, and apparently there's no such thing.
Yeah, just put Windows 7 on your. No, they'll listen to them. It worked. It works fine. Don't listen to your.
Alright.
Mayfield, I have an old laptop here, but I don't think he ever used it.
Don't listen to them. Get
Well, then I
Windows-
was like, I could go on like
Did you tell 'em
Facebook
that-
Marketplace or Craigslist and
Did
just
you-
buy a used computer.
Yeah, well, do that then.
For like-
Get yourself. Spend. I don't know what your budget is, but
You know, what budget?
get yourself a get yourself a. Get yourself one that will.
Wait, Thomas just said he has an old laptop that, I can buy from him. Now he's laughing. He's like, did I say that? I didn't say
Did-
that.
He said, "Whoops, sorry."
But anyway, yeah. So then I was like, okay, I could just find a used computer.
You got to get the Windows version.
Yes. Well, that's why I was like, I'll just get a used computer and have Windows on it.
And the whole point I'm trying to teach is that you don't need the latest and the greatest computer to run, and you
Right.
don't need Windows. You don't need. So I think
don't
your
need
your
that.
nerdy friends were thinking that I'm saying to put Windows 10, the latest Windows
Right.
on. I'm not. I said Windows 7. So go to your nerdy ass friends and tell them he said Windows 7.
I have
Not
Windows 7s in
Windows
this
10.
laptop.
And Windows 7 was definitely able to be installed on your old. Age doesn't matter. Tell them you're insulted that they would question the age of your computer because that has nothing
like,
to
it's
do
still
with nothing.
running.
Shame on them.
Yeah, that is ridiculous comment. So basically, if you run Windows 7 on boot camp on your older Mac, you're not going to run into zero. You're going to run into zero issues. Okay, I'm not going to say zero issues.
No, I had an old MacBook. And you saw what happened. It was dying.
So you sometimes the resistors run out. Especially the MacBook Airs. The MacBook Airs run hot because it's super thin, so they do have chip failures.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with installing Windows 7 on it, especially if there's no chip failure in if your Mac is running fine right now, it's going to run fine with the Windows 7.
It's pretty good. I get the spin and rainbow sometimes.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
That's not good.
No, it's not.
buy
is it?
yourself a Windows machine.
Yes.
No, listen, a MacBook Air is especially the earliest. That sounds like first generation MacBook Air.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a strong computer.
Yeah, it's gonna kerplunk on me.
And you don't have any Windows machine anywhere, like a desktop or something?
Right now.
No, but I can, I can poke around. I'm gonna make this happen. I'm just not gonna make it happen, probably this
You see,
week.
I would sell you a machine, but all my machines are like DOS machines, MS-DOS.
Oh, yeah, come on over.
Like I'm so old. I got Commodore 64s. I'm like literally right now. I'm touching
Commodore,
it.
it sounds like a band, isn't that? Weren't
Yeah.
there the Commodore?
Yeah.
Commodore 64.
Yeah,
Does the computer sing? Does it really
Commodore 64s. They're for you.
Sorry, Nate. It's Thursday. It's Thursday. I heard you're supposed
It's
to take the
almost
night off.
Friday.
Well, I'm sure
Um,
you learned something today.
I
and-
did, and I will practice. And if I don't get anything, then I'll practice last week's homework some more.
No, you could do the
I can do
commands.
it.
Yeah, you can do it.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go eat dinner.
All right, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Good
buddy.
night.
Trent Treaty in the house.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Peace, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.